We're here, we are celebrating this magnificent cookbook. It is the fifth one, but this one does seem to be the most ornate. So it is the author and the inspiration, obviously, of Madame Curry, Feast, Pray, Love. And I'd like to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to throw in a little bit of a whoop whoop, or with your little finger claps. Ladies and gentlemen, Yudhika!
Thank you, guys.
Some people that have just arrived in the back there. Mm-hmm. And I was very, very surprised. You were surprised as well when we met yesterday. And I've known of Yudhika and engaged with her on all social media for so long now. I really thought we were like besties. And it was I just love everything that Yudhika does, and we've been engaging for so long that when she stood up and I went to, and I was like, oh wait, hang on, we've never done this, we've never hugged, and she was like, holy crap, you're so tall, and and it was like, oh, we've actually just met, but it's so it's wonderful that we know each other's work, and there was I hope a mutual affection that was happening there. So here we are. It's your book, Madame Curry, Feast, Pray, Love. Can we start with your letter? We didn't get to it so much this morning, but there's a letter in here. Do you want to read it?
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Dear Darren, I cook to live, I cook to love. Sometimes I live to cook, I live to forget. Cooking with hurt, cooking with heart, I stir memories into every pot. The cumin, the cardamom, the stories they've got. I cook while I laugh, I cook while I cry, I cook while I think, I can't even try. With every masala, with every bay leaf, I honor a city that taught me belief. With Durban in my heart, with Durban in my soul, every dish is a poem. Every dish calls your name. When my pot simmers and the air turns gold, I carry the memories that never turn cold.
So so tell us about your cookbook. So this is like your I don't know of many cookbooks that have a love letter to the place where you come from. Can you tell us more about why this is just more than a cookbook?
I think it's so many things, and it's taken me a long while to put it together. And I didn't really understand how big this book was until I started writing it. And at the beginning, it felt like very mechanical. And at the end, I was like so emotional about it because there were so many stories within the story. It was the story of the food that we were raised on, the lack, sometimes the abundance. It was how I never had an education, like a formal education, but how there were so many women in our lives, in my life, that became tutors of sort, and I carry them with me on this journey where I've built an amazing brand, an amazing business. But some of those women don't understand even the role they've played in helping me build this massive brand, and thank you is not big enough. So there's so many stories within the recipes, and I think each and every person here, if you think back, a curry is just not a curry. It's a memory, it's a story in itself. And every home has a story that's unique. So there's so much to it, and it's my whole heart in a book, really.
No, it is beautiful. Now, everyone gets a copy, and a signed copy, signed today. And another reason why we thought, or Anna and I just thought that we'd met, is that we've been ordering Yudhika's pies, Yudhika's homemade pies, for the longest time. And we were chatting this morning, and I love it how these conversations, you'll have this interview on air, and then somebody will say something, and you'll get into a deep conversation. I'm from Joburg as well, and one of the things that used to happen in Joburg after a long night of gigging or working, or in my case, joiling, there was only one place you could go to. Durban had one. What was the chicken place that you could go to?
I don't know the chicken place, but in Johannesburg it was Fontana.
Fontana. Oh, that was it. Fontana in Joburg, or Bimbo's.
Bimbo's, yeah.
And then a little bit later after that, about 10 years later, all the petrol stations got onto that, and they started making pies. Now, if pies were rated, right, that would be your entry level 1 on the scale of pies back then. And then you work your way all the way up to a Yudhika homemade pie. This pie, you don't understand until you've had it. Who's had Yudhika's homemade pies? I mean, they're absolutely amazing. If you get an opportunity when you're in Joburg and you're going to Monte Casino and you just, instead of hanging a right, you hang a left and go and actually have it there. You know, I have it frozen and sent down and we put it in the air fryer and it's a phenomenon. It's a gastronomic phenomenon how the pastry can stay so light and fluffy on the top and that it doesn't get stodgy in the bottom, and how it's still a crisp and tasty pastry all the way, and the filling isn't that I must super say it is the greatest. It is the greatest pie out there. It really is. Now, what I want to ask you is, can you tell us that story? I'm sure we have an entrepreneurial spirit in this room. Tell us the story about the establishment of Yudhika's homemade pies.
Okay, so my uncle is here. Where are you, Vin? Okay, my uncle's right here, right? And his grandfather, my maternal great-grandfather, used to be a baker. And he used to go to fetch Uncle Vin, and he used to go there with the pie. And I never knew the story until I started making pies, and then I heard the story that about people called him Snuffy. Snuffy used to make pies. And only somebody in my shop said to me, hey, I was a little boy and your great-grandfather used to make pies. Do you know that?
Wow.
And then I called home and I asked them about it. I said, did people actually call him Snuffy? And they were like, yes. And he did make pies. So Uncle Vin remembers those pies because he was a little boy and his uncle would go to fetch the old man, and he would bring Vin pies. So he remembers it was a mutton curry pie. In our house, a mutton curry pie is a big deal. And I love pies, and I couldn't find one. And I made them one Sunday. And in the old days in my store, you could walk directly into the kitchen, and you could, tell us what you wanted. It was like a free space. You could walk in and chat to me or whatever. The customer walked in, and he said, "What's that?" I made that for my kids. He said, "What's that?" I said, "It's mutton curry pies." He says, "Can I buy all of them?" And I said, "No, you can't. It's my brunch."
Yeah.
And he said, "Okay, how about you sell me some?" And he ate them in his car on our driveway. And he called from the car and he said, "I want 12 more of those pies for next weekend." And he dropped them off with other people, and they called to order. And that was one pie. And now we have a range of over 20 pies. Wow. So my favorite curries, from trotters and sugar beans, to braised lamb and cabbage, to Cornish chicken curry, wood-fired, finds its way into our range as a pie. And there's sugar beans curry with cheese and chili. There's all kinds of magical pies in our range. So whatever I love, for me, everything gets better if you wrap it in puff pastry, right? Or butter puff pastry, right? And we send pies to the UK. We fly pies down to Cape Town, George, Knysna. We send things all over the country. So on a Monday, Durban, we have a door-to-door delivery. It arrives on your doorstep.
Hang on. Everyone else gets that service? I thought that was just me and my Anna.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, it's everyone else.
It is a business, Darren.
Oh, it is a business.
It is a business. It is
so,
a business.
And it really is. It's just, I'm not just saying that because Yudhika's here and we have the book and we've interviewed her on air. That pie is just next. It's just next level. And how is it that I don't get heartburn with your pie?
There's no corn flour and stuff in it. So it's a real old-fashioned, proper butter puff pastry pie. There's no preservatives or anything. So I just love sharing the food of my childhood with my customers, with my friends. I'm always cooking, I'm always baking, I'm always doing something. So my gran never put that into, my mom never put it into the food.
Yeah.
So like a corn flour slurry or whatever. No, we just made really good old-fashioned home food. And there was no room for thickeners and thickening agents. And we were also quite afraid if we made a dodgy pie with dodgy cuts of meat, everybody will talk.
Yeah.
So that kept you on the straight and narrow. You had to behave yourself. Yeah. So.
But also, my Anna was saying that she's impressed by how you run your business as a business person, as an entrepreneur, and how you care for the people that work with you and your relationship with your staff. Can you tell us a bit about that?
It's a team of amazing women. I can't do it on my own. I can't take credit for the work the team put in. I really can't. So it's a really strange concept that I have Indian women who will say to me, I can't make curry, I can't make roti. And I realize we are slightly traumatized by everything we're told, and we're raised with these notions that roti has to be round and it has to be like this, or there's superstitions. For a lady who walks in off the street, I need this job, I want this job. And it is the craziest thing. You'll find people in my team. Number one, I don't take anyone who's worked in a food business or in another Indian establishment, because I always feel I need to train them like from scratch. So you'll find people who've moved from restaurant to restaurant have picked up all the bad habits in each establishment, and then they present themselves to you as a gift, but it's not a gift, because they will tell you what to do. And I'm like, no, you must listen first. All right, so it's very important to me. But every woman that walks in, and it's like, I suppose like every child, they have some kind of talent and ability to do something in the most magical way. So Virginia on my team has been with me for about 12 years, and she cooks the most amazing crab curry. I have not cooked a crab curry in about 8 years. I do it in classes and stuff like that, but the crab curry in the store is cooked by a lady, a local lady, who's worked with me, and she started out as a scullery lady, and she went on to seafood prep and then started making crab curry, and that is her magic. You'll find people who walk in and they really are bad at one thing, and they make the most amazing rotis. We have a lady who is a terrible cook, but she makes the most amazing pickles. So we are all kind of, you start in our kitchen, and we will actually over time just see where you shine. But every lady, there's no one in our team that hasn't been able to shine in something. And it's the most incredible thing. Like, these ladies roll the most perfectly round rotis after 10 days. So they walk in, and I walk past the kitchen and I look at the roti ladies, and I'm like saying, is she making dough already? And they're like, yes. And then she's rolling it perfectly. So I feel like so much of how we were raised, there was so much that was good about being in the kitchen, but there was also quite a bit of negativity that existed. And we have so many mental blocks around food and its preparation. And we carry that, and we cannot, if there's fear, you can't do it. I was like saying, if you're feeling afraid, just go watch Netflix. Just go chill out. Don't do it. It's better to just have a nap and a lovely dream. It'll be better. So it's about not feeling that fear and shrugging off all these notions about. Also, we're quite afraid to cook for families because it's that they don't like my food. And I was saying to Darren earlier during our interview, and we didn't talk about it on air, but the worst thing about our community is the more they dislike you, the harder you try to make everything perfect. And that means they're going to visit you again. Right? Guys, it's a trap. Right? Stop cooking for people that don't like you. Yeah. Cook for the people you love and that love you back. And never disclose the menu. I'm making mutton biryani, you must come. They must come for you, not the mutton biryani. All right? Choose your friends wisely. Right? So that's my story about that. That's the advice I have, the pearls I have.
It's the funniest thing, because ever since I moved to Durban, someone's always telling me, my auntie's got the best biryani. No, you must come taste mine. Mine's the best. And then I'll say, no, but I've had the best. because someone told me about their auntie, and then she put it in a pot and gave it to me. And like the whole pot. I'm like, I'm just a family of 4. There was a pot there that fed 4 of us for a week. And with all of the up-to-date potatoes and all of the things. It was just like, and then someone else said, no, but I've got the best. And I'm like, I can't, I've had the best. And there is a competition.
There is.
That happens there. And what I love about also this bleeds through with you and the love affair with food. And that you love food and you love that people love the food. And it's important to you that bit is real. I grew up with a very sad situation. It's not about me, but my mom couldn't cook. Really. Really. Both parents worked and no one, the whole family, no one could cook. My mother really couldn't cook. She was raising 5 boys. And she would just make us meat and starch and whatever she could. And she really just, like she came to visit us. She stayed over for a few days. And my Anna, she's so sweet. She's like, doesn't your mum want to cook? No. Okay. And so this... And then this phenomenon, then I learned that when you make food with love, and then you give it with love, and then there's something tribal about that. There's something that's in our DNA that is correct, that is right. And when you tap into that, like my Anna, she's worked a hard day. I come home, I'm tired, and I say, my love, I'm hungry. She'll go downstairs. She makes the most perfect half egg, half scrambled on a soft white bun with the right mix of tomato and mustard with a little bit of black pepper. And she goes out to the garden and gets a sprig of garnish on the side of the plate there and puts it on a tray with a napkin and a tall glass of water that sort of like sweats. She's got to make sure that it's been in there long enough so that the ice melts a little bit and the glass is sweating, and then she'll hand that. Now I'm starving. I'm hungry. My love, but it's important to her that this is made with love and that it's received with love, and this bleeds through. This is in your book. There's people who talk about how do you even have time? Answer those 2 questions here. How do you have time to give classes as well? And every single person that walks away from your classes talks about how they've learned, but also not just about how to cook, but also how to cook generously, and they have so much fun with you. They have such a joy with you. How do you do that?
I absolutely love what I do. All right. So there's not a moment, and I do get tired at times, but I absolutely love what I do. All right. And then you learn. I've been on this journey for a long time, and my friends and family will know this. I am so selective about what I spend time on. And it's not a food career choice, it's a living choice. So I think that I absolutely say no to drama. I work very hard. Auntie Farida's daughter, Auntie Farida is here. Her daughter taught me an amazing line. She always says, we work hard to live drama-free lives. Right? So there's so much energy that goes into drama, friend drama, family drama that's not your drama. So I actually pull back and I invest everything. I have 3 things in my life. My family, my kids. When I say my family, I mean my kids. I have that. I have my business. And I have 30 women and people that depend on me to keep my wits about me so I can do what I do. And that's huge because those women feed 5 to 6 people each. It's huge, right? So I've got to keep my wits about me. And my friend circle, it's not even a circle, it's basically a little front row. And those 3 things are the most important things in my whole life. So it's actually, we all have time and we all have capacity, but it depends on how do we spend our time. And if you look at life and you think about in a day, how worried we are, how stressed we are, and what we're stressed about, you actually will realize not a lot of that is actually about your own stress. It's about other things that bother you. And I don't do girls' nights because I don't want to listen to complaining about your home life. If you're unhappy, go and change it. There's no point talking about it. You go change it. And you'll go for a drink today, 3 months down the line, you are listening to the same story. I'm not going to put my eyeshadow on and my lipstick on to listen to that.
Yeah.
Right? I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not going to happen. So it's about actually, and you can say, oh, it's my friend and it's her problems, but we take on all these things, all of these stresses, because as women especially, we have this habit of owning other people's issues.
Yeah.
So I really think everyone needs to like pull back and start to understand like what's important, what's bothering me about my own life. And you realize you don't really have many problems.
Yeah.
Right? And you start pouring into your own life and you will see the magic. I have an enormous energy when it comes to my work. I can work the longest hours and I'm very focused. So my day starts at 4 a.m. We have markets because we have to actually find out now who's got up-to-date potatoes. That's the first order of the day.
Yeah.
Guys, you think this is glamorous? It isn't. We are arguing with somebody over 3 rand over a 10 kilo or a 5 kilo bag of potatoes. And I'm like, don't let me come there, guys. Don't let me come there. So the first order of business is market. Then we go into menu for the day. Then we do the other suppliers that we need to order with and plan and check who's got what. What's the quality like? So it's a long day, but very fulfilling day. And at 6 p.m., I go into a cooking class. And I do it because I love it. But I also do it because I've got a lot on my plate. I have these lovely children of mine that are doing big degrees and doing amazing things with their lives. And there's just so much to do. But I've grown so much. I come from a little town in the south of Durban called Isipingo. I don't have an education. I never thought I would get to where I am right now. And we learn to surprise ourselves. So, yeah, I've had to work 3 times as hard as any ordinary person to get here. So that's what I've been doing with my day.
I know a mutual friend of ours, Bash with Tash, and she says you drop the second I in it's Ispingo.
Ispingo.
It's not Isipingo. Only Lanis from Joburg call it Isipingo. It's Ispingo. And
Spingo.
it's Spingo, not even Ispingo. It's
No,
Spingo.
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 Spingo. And they
So
call
let me
us
just WhatsApp a Tash. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Again.
it's Spingo. And if you're from Spingo, they call us the Spingo Dingoes. All right? Who's from Isipingo here?
Respect.
You see? They are Spingo Dingoes here.
So now, I think we need to have that tattooed on us. Not the Spingo. The sentiment that you just communicated about just don't take other people's drama. Don't bring your drama to other people. It seems like it's a natural thing for us to do, and how much easier and more rewarding life is when you just focus on what's really important. But that said, drama looks for you.
Oh, yeah.
Drama searches you out.
Totally. It hunts me down. I really think there was this, people constantly advise me about social media, and they say, like, leave them. You know this Indian thing, leave them. You know this Indian habit, this Indian advice, this way of life that encourages bad behavior. And we come from generations of women being told, leave them, man. You can't leave them because they're carrying on with their nonsense. So initially I used to just like delete the comment or whatever and get on with it. And then I thought, no, I'm not leaving them anymore. I'm upset now. Right? And I very unemotionally deal with it. I just kind of hit back hard. And I can tell you now, nobody's going, hi babe, hi doll.
Yeah.
They stopped doing the hi doll, hi babe now. My inbox is quiet. My DMs are quiet because there's no way that we can actually be okay with this and practice the leave them. Who is them, number one? And also, as an Indian woman, I find that, and listen, I've never been a white woman or a colored woman or a black woman before in my life. I can only speak as an Indian woman. So let me just say that first and foremost. But we come from generations of being trained to leave them, right? And we are so groomed as young children. We think like, okay, a relationship or a boyfriend is behaving badly. And people say to you, but why didn't you leave? Because I've been trained to leave them, in the way, let them behave as badly as they want. So the thing is, it ends with me because I don't want my daughter to practice that in her life. I don't want my son to practice that in his life. So I feel I had to take a stand. And when I did, the uncles were outraged. How dare she? And the aunties that back these uncles, because you must remember that some aunties actually do enjoy when some random uncle comes along and says to their daughter, why aren't you helping in the kitchen? You know, they enjoy that because it provides a helper for, chores around the house. But the thing is that, should we be allowing that? And if Uncle so-and-so is coming and your daughter needs to change her clothes, maybe we shouldn't be hanging around with Uncle so-and-so and letting him or giving him free reign in our house and access to our house. We need to say, if Uncle so-and-so is coming and we need to change what we're wearing, maybe it's not that great. So there's so many conversations in that. But I refuse to carry the burden of other people's opinions. And I've said that. I said, I'm not carrying this burden. It's not my opinion. It's not informed. It's just judgment and shaming. And I refuse to do it anymore. And that's where I've been.
That's my Anna and I have a similar philosophy. It's not leave them, but there's another word in front of leave that's in front of them that we use, which works much better. And if they insist on coming, then we replace the them with you, and that's that seems to work quite well. I like I said, we've been so fond of you and the way that you hold yourself, and I'm tempted, but I suppose we'll do one-on-ones. People have to know the fling story. Yeah, they have to know that story.
The fling story.
This is your 5th cookbook. Are we getting closer to like a book? There's stories, there's ideologies, there's life lessons here that people need from Yudhika. Are we moving towards? Because this one hints at it. Hey, I mean, there's recipes in here. There's recipes in here, but there's stories, and there's personality, and there's some real life in here. There's an ideology in this book. If there's somebody who can't cook, who sits down while you're cooking, and this is the book that they page through, they're going to be rewarded.
Yes, absolutely.
Are we getting to that?
I would love to do more of that. I think when I first started work with this publisher, we were like, we need to keep the recipes and the intros short, because space, and that word space, if you work in TV or media, there's always like time and space, and we need to make it fit. So I had some recipes, like the roti recipe. I was like, I'm not prepared to cut this down. I'm not prepared to shorten it. I'm going to leave it as it is. So I would love to share more of that. I write a lot these days. I think I write pieces of that story. I think 5 days a week I write something. So I do the morning work, the store work, I do the cooking class, and at around 11 o'clock at night, I'll be like, okay, I'm so wired now, I need to write and download what I'm thinking into and put it into some kind of format. So I write quite deep and I write quite heavy. And I think it's been amazing, and I'd love to put that out. I really would. There's about 3 books going in my head right now. One's about what goes on in a curry shop, what people do in a curry shop. So that's like a tell-all. I think I'm saving that for when I retire and don't have a store. It would be more comfortable for me that way. And then one's about life, career, and all of that. And then I'm working. After this, I was so wired after Madam Curry Feast, Pray, Love. All the recipes that didn't fit into this book, I wrote book 6 after about 2 or 3 weeks, and I put all of that together. And I think there's another project that's jumped the queue now, but I'll tell you about that when it's confirmed.
When it's confirmed.
Yes, but there's a lot of writing going on, a lot.
So this is the most commonly asked question at a book launch. It's usually the hardest one for the author to answer, but you have to right? So who's this book for? Who should be walking into an Exclusive Books and searching for this on the shelf and taking it off for themselves or with the intention of gifting it to someone else? Who's this for?
Oh, wow. It is for the young woman who wants to make amazing meals and memories. It's for her. It's for him. It is for the working mum, the Indian woman who maybe is around 40 to 50 years old and went into a work kind of environment and didn't really spend time at home, sort of flew the nest and didn't really have time with her mom and missed out on those finer moments of cooking and picking up those recipes. It is for the adventurous, die-hard cook. And it's for people who just, I don't think there's been a book, and Atisha was saying this as well, that's gone back to those recipes that we've taken for granted and forgotten about, because they are recipes we've forgotten about. My favorite recipe that's quite forgotten is that the half-ripe mango that's cooked around Pertasi prayer time with tamarind and sugar. That's one of my favorite things that I eat with Albany white bread. And it's my best. But a lot of people don't know how to make it because it was something done by older women, and the matriarchs have slowed down, forgotten, don't do it anymore, passed on. So it's about all of that. And just any person who just loves curry, it's a simple to follow book. Even if the recipe is long, it's still easy to follow. One of the most complicated or long recipes in the book is the parda lamb biryani that we do. We do the lamb, we layer it, we make a dough, we cover the entire pot with dough, and we bake it in the oven. And that's a great insurance policy if you love biryani, because you don't want it to stick and burn and whatever. And there's just something, foil just doesn't do it, guys. You need the dough, and it gives you some kind of alternate chemistry that happens in that pot. It is the best biryani.
You couldn't resist, you had to.
I had to. So there's that. So it's also a different way. Remember, every home is different, every house is different, and we all have these different ways of doing things, and it's about sharing my way of doing things. Also, very, very importantly, the way curry was cooked in Durban 50 to 60 years ago is not how we should be cooking curry now. And I explain that in the book. We overspice food. We go to the spice shop, and I always say curry goes wrong, not at home. It goes wrong in the spice shop, where the auntie will sell you no-name brand aromat, right? And you buy it and you'll go home. You buy so much spice, and you're so excited because you feel like now you have everything you need, and you go home and you put all those things into the soft fowl that we buy from Woolworths. And it doesn't work. You know, there's fennel, there's cloves, there's cardamom, big cardamom, white cardamom, green cardamom. The black cardamom for me is the worst. And star anise. And you have I like the wing bone. It's sitting there on the star anise. And when you bite into it, it's ruining your food because it's so intense. So we have this way of cooking or in Durban, where I learned to cook, we have a habit of over-spicing, over-seasoning. We haven't stopped to think about our produce has changed. And so I think this is one of the new age curry cookbooks where I explain that. We're not using mutton anymore. Why are we marinating soft chicken? We call it soft chicken, Darren.
What's What's the
difference? The Woolworths chicken. It's not the foraging, the running fowl, the hard body.
Oh, it's
the soft chicken from Woolworths versus the hard body. The hard body is the foraging, the running fowl, guys. So there's just a different way of cooking these things. I have to educate you. He's shocked. Don't you know this? Oh my God, he doesn't know this.
I didn't know.
Guys, can we educate? Can us Durbanites educate Darren?
Please, guys.
Right? So Woolworths chicken is what we call soft chicken, and the other chicken that we love is the foraging chicken. It's the organic chicken. Oh. It's the foraging chicken. It's called the Zulus call it the hard body, right? So it is the live chicken, fresh chicken, live chicken, running fowl. There we go. All of those things. All homes have a different. So it's different. What you use, how you cook it, is different, and you'll find this new age of Instagram famous, TikTok famous, and we touched on that today. Yes and no, I said to that question, which was TikTok chefs, yes or no? And I was like, yes and no, because we have to question, why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we marinating prawns? We shouldn't be doing that, because it cooks the prawn. When you actually cook it, you marinate. Why? Like, it's so soft. Marination is there to tenderize. It's not so the flavor goes inside, right? Where it's going to go, the flavor. So we have all these things, you know, but you guys have heard these things being said to you.
Yeah.
The flavor's not going inside. You're turning your prawns into a complete mash. Right? So we need to question why. There's no ginger used in prawns, for example. It's a tenderizing agent. But you've got to be very wary. And I always say this, you've got to do recipes. You have to make sure your work is tested, it's credible, you know what you're talking about. Because some lady has saved up all her money because her children are coming from Johannesburg. And she wants to make that prawn curry for them, right? And then some TikToker is saying, yeah, you must marinate the prawn with ginger and garlic, and her food is ruined. And she's ruined that moment with something that she's longed for so long, and it's just kind of like fallen apart. So you must think about these women who actually trust you, and it's a big responsibility to take people in, where they take you into their homes and into their kitchens, and they really use your recipes and they trust your recipes. It's so important to give your best and make sure it's a respect more than anything else. And, you know, I come from a family where there wasn't always, money to experiment or it didn't work out, let's make another one. So I really think about all of that, and I think that we must make sure our work is 100% right.
Yeah.
So no marinating prawns, ladies and gentlemen. Where's the Master Chef guy?
There is. We're lucky. We actually have a top. We have a top 10 Master Chef person in the audience. You know, you got a real cookbook chef here when a Master Chef contestant has come through to the book launch. But there's quite an emancipating moment that happens there, because being raised by my mom, where you had to get the food out. It was utilitarian. It was like the boys need the starch and the meat, and you got to get it out, and then you got to if you don't wash the dishes, and then there's a big fight that's happening there. And it was drama. Food was always fraught with drama, and also, you know, where to hide the food that you didn't want to eat, you know. And it was like there were not healthy habits that would happen there. And then I got into, and it was a TikTok, and I saw it was actually, but it was a proper, like it was like a, who's Gordon Ramsay's teacher? Pierre.
Marco Pierre White.
Marco Pierre.
Yeah.
Marco yes.
Pierre White, I'm sure it is.
And I saw one or two of his things, and something happened where I was able to watch the whole thing. And for the first time, I didn't have to put a recipe on a stand and go to it and then come back here and go, oh, damn it, that's in ounces. What the hell's an ounce? No, and, you know, and then when you just watched him make something and go, oh, I have those ingredients, I can make that. And there's no book, and then you just go, I'm going to impress with this meal, and I'm going to feed my family with this meal. And then you screw it up and you go, well, Mr. Delivery. You know, you can. There's an emancipation to, I messed it up, I tried, I made this with love, I have a plan B, it came up there, and that's quite an emancipating moment.
It is, but for many people there wasn't a plan B, that was it.
That was it.
That was it. You know, you have one shot, and for a lot of people it is still a one shot, a one-hit wonder, and you have to get it right.
I do like that sentiment of learning a new recipe, a new way of making something. That's another thing we do. When you've cooked for your family for 20 years, you have a rut. You sort of like, Mondays we're going to do this. And I went through a phase where every Tuesday I would make a ramen, and I got better and better and better and better at this ramen. I had Tuesday ramens, and my family was like, it's Tuesdays, we're doing ramen. And then I'd gotten to a place where I thought, I can't get any better with the ramen, and then I stopped making it, and then the family was like,
who does that?
And I'd stopped making it. But so now the question about this book. So I have several places where cookbooks live in my house, right? So I have the top shelf over there where they're all put together. It's where the Jamie Olivers are. So they go up on the top layer where you only see the spine. right? And then you have books that are right above the cooking area that are turned, and you can see the author of the book. And then there are cookbooks that sit on the coffee table so that when guests arrive, they can actually just go, "Oh, that's interesting," and have a look at it. So there's different places for cookbooks. Where does this one go?
You know that cupboard by the dishcloths, the drawer.
The third drawer.
Yeah. You know that drawer? You know, just below the one with the samosa packets. You know the packets that we fold like this? Just there. It must live in your kitchen. Don't try to keep it neat and tidy. It must smell like curry. It must smell like love. It must smell
Is
like
that what? That's the. So you've answered my question because it's so beautiful and so glossy, and it looks like the photographer has taken this one-time print and put it here. It's just the most exquisite-looking thing. Are you okay with oil fingers and?
That's how you know there's love.
And
it's
that's how you
just used. You know?
Oh, okay. Well, it's good to know. All right. So, and now, where are we going to position you for a signing?
I think
You're
I'm
gonna do it
right
over
here
here?
for a signing.
We have a table over here, and can they purchase their books at the back?
Yes, they can purchase their books at time. You can bring some books through. And then we
So
can have
at this point, you're more than welcome to purchase the book, Madame Curry, Feast, Pray, Love. And there'll be a book signing over here. And I suppose you'll throw in a selfie or two?
Yes, absolutely. We've been doing selfies all
Selfies
day.
and photos?
Yeah.
And so the book signing has concluded. Can we give a nice book signing round of applause?
Guys, it's the modern one, like the little thing.
To Yudhika.
Thank you so much. Thank you.